Okay, we are in the Claude 4 hype cycle. You've heard about Claude 4 for coding, you've heard about Claude 4 for agents. We're gonna tell you the best new feature of Claude 4, and it's how it integrates with all of your tools. And we're gonna give you 3 use cases that you can use today with Claude 4 that are gonna blow your mind, save you hours and hours of work, and make you instantly better at what you do overnight. All right, Kipp, on this show, what we are going to give marketers is the holy grail. We are going to show them how to use the new Claude model, Claude 4 Opus, it is out, and how to basically automate all of their updates, all of their marketing updates, so they can give their manager weekly summaries, monthly summaries, they can give their exec team summaries and stories, whatever they need to do. Today, how you do that, you go figure out your emails, you go look at Google Drive, you go put together a bunch of slides. And we're not going to stop there. We're going to show you how you can use Claude to do all of your marketing updates so you never have to do that again. And then we're going to show you how you can get feedback from your manager on those updates using AI before you even have to send them to your manager.
They're going to provide all of the feedback in kind of a virtual version, which is pretty wild. I think, Kieran, one of the things that I would lead with for today's show is that if you see us do a show on Claude's superpower is connecting with other applications. It is going to be the best model, frontier model at connecting with other applications. We're not going to be out here telling you how good the new Opus 4 model is. It's good. I like its writing. It can do some good stuff. But the magic is in the ability to understand and interpret data from lots of different applications and sources, right?
We should just quickly explain. I'll just quickly show a tweet to explain how this actually works, because you're gonna quickly dive into some of the connectors. But what's happening is, this was last week, so Zapier basically integrated with Claude, which means that they are able to bring all of their workflows, these kind of automations, right into the Claude model using MCPs. And we've talked about MCP before. It allows the AI to call tools, to call different software, and to perform tasks through those tools. So today, what you can actually do is start to use all of these different software applications through Claude, because Claude is now integrated into Zapier. And the ones that we are going to show you here, you can do lots. We're only going to show you some of the power when it's integrated into Asana, Google Drive, your calendar, and email.
But if you use Zapier, you can integrate it into almost everything, right? And we'll be doing we're going to be doing more shows on that in the future. But these are some of the core integrations that you and I use, and I think most people would use. And Asana is a proxy for any type of project management software you would use. We use Asana at HubSpot, but whatever you use, you can now connect through Zapier, right?
Do you want to show them how you connect Asana and then start to have AI do all of your marketing summaries?
Sure can. So when you are in Claude, this is my HubSpot Claude. One of the things you're going to see is settings. And when you go over here to settings, you have your whole profile setting, you have account, all the stuff. What you want to do is integrations. Integrations is going to show what Claude has access to. And right now, I've got a few tests, ignore those. Right now, I can access anything from my Google Drive, Gmail, Google Calendar, and Asana, which is my project management system of choice, right?
Right.
So that's all pretty cool. And mine already say connected. If you didn't have them set up, you just have to click connect and then OAuth into them. What I've done, Kieran, right, is Claude has access to my Asana workspaces, right? So that's cool. And what I had it do is I had it write. I literally gave it a very basic prompt of, can you give me a prompt to look at our projects in Asana and give me a summary of the marketing team, like blockers and progress, okay? And it came back with like a pretty standard prompt, which is awesome. Like, depending on what type of deep dive you wanted to do into your personal work or your team's work. I've done this with like Calendar, Google Drive. If you want to look at like the work you're doing with yourself, we can show you that in a little bit, maybe if we have time. But that's what we're doing. And so for Asana, it says like current blockers, progress overview, key project analysis, team performance metrics, and recommendations, right? Like, these are all the things you would want to know in looking at how like any team is doing, right?
So just to make sure people realize, there is 600 marketers in HubSpot. They're all using Asana. For you to be able to distill it into that kind of view, it would take a bunch of people coming to you with like different versions of their updates, right? And you're able to, in one ask, consolidate all of that into a pretty easy to read summary.
Let's be honest with you. The other way to do this is either I go and build a bunch of manual reports in Asana and kind of interpret it, or people build all these decks and I take all these decks and basically dump them in an LLM and ask them and ask ChatGPT or Claude to put it together, right? Instead, nobody has to do any work other than use the project management software like they're already doing, right? There's no extra work for anybody. And I don't have to go build any dashboards or more complex work. I can just do it here in Claude. And so I then ran this prompt, and you will have to allow access. It asks you every time it's accessing your data, like, hey, can I go into Asana and get this data? And so now it is thinking and checking on everything, Kieran. It does take a few minutes when you're using all these integrations. Like, that's the other thing I would say. Like, this has already been running for probably like 2 or 3 minutes. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh, why does this take so long? And then you're like, oh, this would have taken me 5 hours to do manually by myself, but I'm going to complain that it takes like 7 minutes to pull this up, right?
That is the crazy thing, is you just get used to a higher order of efficiency. You're like, hey, why does everything take so long? And I looked at mine as like going across all of my different channels and starting to kind of build this profile we're going to show people how to do so it can give feedback to my team. And it's going to take 2, 3, 4 minutes, but what it's doing is going across my entirety, all of my email, all of my Google Drive, all of my Asana updates to kind of figure out my communication style and what are the kind of problems that I dive into and how do I do that.
Yes. I think AI as a coach for any aspect of your life is drastically underrated for what it's worth. Like, I saw like there's like a physical device that like it's called Claude that like magnetizes to your phone for any in-person conversations, either phone or in person. So like you could get that and just like record all of your interactions with your child and be like, all right, tell me how to be a better parent.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing that we've talked about for some time that is actually really starting to happen, but it's happening, I think it's happening without people maybe realizing it's happening, which is all of these AI models want to be your personal assistant. Now, well, I will say it has changed over time, where it was like, hey, like Google want to be your personal assistant, Claude does, OpenAI does, they're all kind of vying for the same customer. I don't think that is true anymore, and that Claude is pretty, I think Claude has given up on the chatbot space. I don't think it is trying to be like the AI assistant. It is trying to be the model that powers agents, that powers the enterprise. It's becoming like an infrastructure company. And so I think most of the updates, even in Claude 4, are very much like infrastructure companies. They've got the Zapier integration. They've got all of these different ways that they can power other people's agents in a very powerful way. But the more you work with these models, the more they're going to know about you, and the more they're going to be able to like personalize all of the ways they work towards you. And now they have access to all of your tools. And so they can see the way you work across tools. They can start to really personalize your experience to them. And I think that is starting to really be felt now. We have memory from ChatGPT that makes that, started to feel that way. Claude has memory. Claude, all of these different products have much more access to you, all of the things that you do. And so I've started to really feel that way, where it does start to feel like a assistant personal to me. It's
pretty wild where we've come so quickly. Like, you and I had a big debate of like, oh, is ChatGPT going to be for the enterprise or the consumer? First of all, it seems like OpenAI is going to be for everybody and going to be the next big consumer company. But it seems like they're going to be slightly more consumer. They're going to build consumer hardware devices, all of those things. It seems like Claude is going to be kind of the winner for the enterprise and the B2B use cases, right? And if you're a more savvy business, you're going to probably end up using both for different use cases.
Exactly.
I got mine back. You ready?
Oh, you got yours back. Okay.
Ready? Here, let me pull this up.
Do you remember when learning Excel made you instantly more valuable at work? Claude AI is that moment all over again, but a lot bigger. And I mean way bigger. While everyone is using Claude to write emails, the real opportunity are in its advanced features. Our new guide breaks down Claude's best features, shows you how to use them to work smarter and faster, featuring real strategies from real people who have used it and done it. The link is in the description below. Go check it out. It's going to transform how you use Claude. Now let's get back to today's show.
Okay, so as you can see here, what it does, Kieran, that I do think is good, it tells you what aspects of like a different application it's looking at. So it's searching, told me it's like looking at Asana project, task counts, task project. It's searching different parts of Asana. And then what's interesting is it can tell me I've got 3 tasks on hold with like our marketing enablement team. I've got some overdue tasks, right, that are across different parts of the team. I've got some tasks due today. So you can really run this on like a daily basis, which is pretty cool. And then it's like, we have a priority around how do we become the best AI first marketing team in the world? And so what are some blockers to that plan? And it's like, oh, we are still figuring out some of our AI use cases. Well, you and I are on that. We know that's happening. But like, if we weren't on that, like that would be a really good flag being like, hey, this is really important to us. Why is this not happening? And then it's giving us like a pretty decent progress overview by team. And these are just like some teams. I didn't have it do like a big comprehensive thing. It can do analysis of our key projects, which I think is pretty cool. Team performance metrics, recommendations, which I think are really cool, which is like basically like address the things that are not done and in a good place. And then what I like that it did is short-term improvements the next 2 weeks. So like, what do you need to do to change the momentum, change the trajectory of the work your team is doing? So it's like, we need to, it's like, hey, you should implement weekly status reporting for all active projects. We have that for some, but we don't have it for all. So that's actually a pretty good idea, right? And that's something that you've actually worked on our team. And then there's just some like cool strategic recommendations, like, oh, the strategic partnerships project needs clear deliverables beyond like just scheduling outcomes, right? So it's like actually pretty good. And what's cool is that you can go back and forth with this and just deep dive into any of these aspects and ask specific questions, right? And this is like meant to be generic because I'm not trying to share a bunch of HubSpot information and everything, right? But if I were doing this for real, I would have an even more detailed prompt, right? Where it's specific teams I'm worried about, all of those things basically in one place where I can have a uber customized, uber personalized view of specific top priorities, projects, or teams that I might be like extra focused on.
One of the cool things is it has memory. So like one of the things that's really good to do is to create these how best to work with you docs. When you meet a new person or you have a new team, you can basically give them the doc and they understand like how you work. I always do it. I find it really good.
It is really good.
So I want to show you a version. This is basically because I work in ChatGPT so much, it understands me pretty well, but I'm going to give you this version and then I'm going to ask it to like be honest. Like, what are the things you would tell that person that no one else would tell me? So it gives me like all of the right things, like proactive and autonomous. I'm not looking to micromanage. Outcome oriented. Like these are all structured and clear communication. I value brevity and clarity, whether in Slack decks, but bullet points, long paragraphs, like all this stuff makes sense. Async by default, like I actually think you can get a lot of stuff done by async. Builder's mindset, accountability driven. He appreciates thoughtful contrarian thinking. If you disagree, say so. He'll match your pace and intensity. If you raise the bar, he'll back you fully. Respect his time and energy. Well, this isn't it. He's balancing a lot, including being a dad. So concise, whipper. That's all right. Okay. So let's see. This is great. Tell me
the hard truth.
Yeah, tell me three hard truths about the challenges in working with me so I can be honest with this person. All right, let's see what it gives me here. I haven't done this one before, so let's hopefully it's not too bad.
I love the emoji.
Warning.
Warning. You're about to not be happy.
He has a sharp eye, half-baked thinking won't fly. Kieran is great at spotting weak logic, unclear thinking, or fluff. He sets a bar high. Doesn't always pour. So these are all too nice.
These are way too nice. These are all too nice.
What are some hard truths? I'd probably say something like, Kieran dislikes people.
Everyone. Oh, the puzzle emoji. He's not always great at slowing down to a line. Oh, I also have this one.
Yes, that's a good one.
He can be mentally 10 steps ahead. It's only funny because it's true. It's only funny because it's true.
He can be mentally 10 and emotionally 10 steps removed. Kieran thinks in systems and long-time leverage, not interpersonal minutia. What the fuck? Is it listening to me? That means he may not always sense when someone is overwhelmed, unclear, or demotivated. Holy shit. Unless you tell him, yes, he's not cold, just focused. Jesus.
I've never felt so seen by anything in my life, and it's AI.
Isn't that is the most accurate. I've never been able to articulate this.
I've never have either, because you and I are the same way.
And you're the same.
I'm
so
the same way.
Do you want me to copy and paste this so you can start using this?
Can we have this? Can we have this summarized to a T-shirt that we could wear like every day for like a month to kind of just make sure everybody realizes that like.
Look at this one. What do you always say? Prioritize momentum over process. It can whiplash. Oh fuck,
man.
Okay, this has blown my mind.
When you get deep, it gets real, man.
I need to just. Is it bad that this has been able to articulate some things about me better than anyone else has been able to do it?
No, because I think it has unique. That's the whole thing with memory and using these products is that they have these deep understandings of everybody as an individual, which has a whole lot of consequences, positive and negative. But as somebody, if you are obsessed about self-improvement, there's nothing better that's ever existed in humankind, right? If you're like, hey, I just unabashedly want to get better every single day, which is, I think our MO, Kieran, we're just like, I don't really care. You can tell me I'm a terrible person. I don't really care. I just want to get better.
I try
right?
To
like you tell me everything you want to do. I will take none of this personally. I will just be better tomorrow than I am today. And that's all I actually care about.
I literally tried to explain that to someone last week, which is that, you have to remember that I'm not asking anything of you that I'm not asking of me, in that you can literally tell me anything and I don't care, as long as we are moving in the right direction. But I've never heard such a better articulation of like 10 steps ahead and 10 steps maybe emotionally removed. I was like, shit, I get called like way too logical. That's the thing that always people throw. You're just way too logical. But so building upon that. And so what have I done here? So this is my AI profile. So it's not going to be perfect, but it actually is built from real comms. It's gone across all of my email, all of my G Drive. And so it's built a working style, so decision-making approach, which is speed versus deliberation. I've seen some stuff in here, and I think it got some stuff wrong. So makes pragmatic decision when roadblocks emerge. Data versus intuition, value strategic context so it doesn't get bogged down in over-analysis, pretty true. Collaboration preferences, delegates decision-making to appropriate teams. So it's giving me all of these because we're going to use this to give you feedback. Comfortable with escalating to leadership, sell to DC. Priority management. This is actually pretty major conference that I think would take priority, respond to. This is fucking so good, actually. I could make this much better, but it's got a ton of stuff here just from going over my docs. It's a good first pass. All right. So it's got, basically what I've done is I've created a profile that has a working style and basically how I make decisions, how I priority management, what is my risk tolerance, high interest in AI technology innovation, agent.ai enthusiasm.
It's really in your head, man.
That is also from an email I sent yesterday. Pretty true. I don't care about awkwardness.
Even if I know it's going to cause some awkwardness. Definitely true.
Enthusiastic support for things he believes in. Conflict approach. Acknowledges problems plainly. That sucks.
It should, on the feedback delivery, it should say, there should be like an asterisk, unless it's about an emotional topic.
Look at this. Language patterns.
Key phrases. Let's just move on. It's ultimately the team's decision. I love what you were building. That sucks.
Did you have to do this for yours to send it to me? Ask about time and ability. Non-negotiable language, process compliance, vendor cooperation, and clear timeline. All right. So what we've done is used Asana to create your marketing summary, and you can create in any kind of way you want. And then you can build a profile. I've obviously built it for myself, but because you have access to G Drive and email, you'll have all of your interactions with your manager. Now, the one that I'm waiting for, and I can't wait to we have is Slack, because when you have Slack in here, it's going to be 10 times better. But let's go into here. This is my feedback on how the marketing team are doing. Okay. All right. This is obviously based upon AI and talked about some, it's pretty direct. Look at this. Either commit to building it properly with quarterly milestones and clear DRIs, or scrap it entirely. Half-built strategic initiatives waste everyone's time. Okay. There's some truth in the way that this would actually talk. This is pretty good, actually. Fix the resource disaster immediately. This is unacceptable. This is basic management. Get them help this week or deprioritize. Don't let people burn out because of food. Okay, wow. Cut the dead weight.
This makes you sound like a monster.
What the fuck is going on? Cut the dead weight? All right, so I know so you can definitely finesse this, but I think it's a really good example of what to prioritize. It's talked about resourcing. It's dug into the overdue, make no-go decisions. Let's end with the positive. So I would say, because it's focused on all of the kind of like project management stuff. What is our biggest opportunity based on how my AI profile would analyze this summary, and how would we invest more in it? Okay, so it does a pretty good job. It looks for our biggest opportunity, again, using the way that I would look at things, so it knows that I'm very focused on AI. Talks about the problem here and talks about how you would invest in it differently. So it gives you some ideas on how you would actually invest in that project differently. And then talks about the real opportunity. Okay, and then, yeah, I think this one here is saying your profile suggests you'd cut 18 other work stream. What it means by that is that we would make more concerted bets, that we basically do a bunch of things, and then over time we collapse that into 2 to 3 big bets. So I think, like, in terms of how I would think about stuff, it obviously needs some finessing, but you could definitely iterate a little bit more to create a pretty great profile of anyone within your work. And the cool thing here is, obviously, it's not going to replace your manager. It's not going to replace the person you want feedback from, but it gives you a way that they might actually dig into your problems. So you can actually go back then and re-update your summary or finesse your summary based upon the feedback that you're getting from this AI profile. And I think it works really well. I think AI can mimic styles very, very well.
I think that's true. And I think the reality is you just can learn a lot faster, right? If there's like a handful of people you work with and you have profiles for all of them, you can simulate their feedback. Used to be you're like, oh, cool. Well, I can guess what they might think, but like I'm going to have to wait like a couple of days to hear back from them. Now you can get everybody's feedback initially and like really quickly, which just means you can move a lot faster, which clearly AI knows that Kieran and I like to move really quickly. We are 10 steps ahead and 10 steps emotionally
removed.
That's my big takeaway from today's episode.
I'm now going to go and have ChatGPT stare into my soul and really find out some stuff about myself.
but look, the point of this show was to really show you some things you should be doing immediately with Claude integrated into some of the core ways you work. And then we will be doing more episodes with that Zapier integration to really show some cool use cases around like how you can work better and do marketing better and grow your business better, because you can now apply this AI technology across all of the data and all the applications that you're actually using, right?
Right. Exactly. I think there's the speed at what you can work is just incredible if you use these tools. And I think we've given you a couple of ways that you can actually integrate them into your day-to-day.
I love that. We love the Claude 4 updates. They make all of this much better. Shout out to the Claude team. Thanks for your work there. We'll see everybody really soon on Marketing Against the Grain.
This data is wrong every freaking time.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform where everything is fully integrated.
Whoa, I can see the client's whole history, calls, support tickets, emails, and here's a task from 3 days ago I totally missed.
HubSpot. Grow better.